information came direct from Meghan's ex-husband, Trevor Engelson, via an intermediary. And obviously Trevor Engelson is a very successful TV producer. He now has his own family. He's very happy. He hasn't spoken on the record.
Meghan Markle is reportedly fuming behind palace-sized walls after her ex-husband, Trevor Engelson, shattered a decade of silence with explosive claims. Claims many are calling the unveiling of the real Meghan. Insiders say she's in full-blown damage control mode, screaming at staff, threatening legal action, and blaming her own team for failing to bury the story before it hit the press. For a woman obsessed with keeping her image flawless, Trevor's brutally honest revelations have cracked the carefully polished mirror she spent years holding up to the world, and this time the pieces may be impossible to glue back together.
A moment where Megyn Kelly reveals that Meghan Markle married for money, that she planned it all from the beginning, and the vision board with Prince Harry on it was revealed to her by someone who knew Trevor Engelson.
Meghan Markle allegedly erupted in fury the moment she saw the headline quotes from Trevor's interview. Eyewitnesses claim she stormed into a closed-door meeting, slammed the door so hard the walls shook, and began screaming at her press team, accusing them of failing to kill the story before it broke. "They promised me Trevor had been dealt with," one shaken staffer recalled. Meghan reportedly shouted, "He was supposed to be silenced forever. How did this get out?" According to insiders, the atmosphere grew so toxic that several staffers quietly slipped out of the room just to escape the chaos. For Meghan, this wasn't just betrayal, it was raw exposure. By midday, her legal team had already gone on the offensive, with multiple media outlets reportedly receiving cease and desist letters in a frantic attempt to shut the story down.
Narcissist who cannot get enough of herself while she simultaneously plays the victim. My castle's too small. Yeah. The queen is mean to me. They won't let me call myself Her Royal Highness anymore, but I'm going to put it all over my stationery and on the gifts that I give to my friends, while she never stops whining. And at the same time, I'm getting all worked up. I'm a foul.
Warning media outlets against further publishing Trevor's claims, Meghan allegedly pushed her lawyers to draft a gag order, even though Trevor never signed a non-disclosure agreement when they divorced. Legal experts say that move speaks volumes. If his statements were false, she could have simply denied them outright. But this frantic reaction, it screams fear. Fear of what Trevor might reveal next. Meghan's obsession with guarding her image has never been a secret, and this interview has pierced straight through her fragile public armor. True to form, Meghan reportedly believes she's under siege, not just from Trevor, but from a growing storm she can't control.
Important. She married for money. It's very clear she bagged the elephant. She was thrilled she became a, quote, princess.
Well, you can...
It was planned from the beginning. She denied being interested in the royal family, which she totally was. I know someone who knows the ex-husband who said she had a vision board with Prince Harry on it. And
before they met?
Yes. And she wants to
That's
pretend.
impressive. You got to admit that is impressive.
She nailed it.
But Meghan reportedly believes the attack isn't just coming from Trevor. It's coming from Buckingham Palace itself. Sources close to her claim she's told confidants that the timing of Trevor's interview was no coincidence, insisting royal insiders orchestrated it to sabotage her brand, just as she prepared for her next big project launch. She's obsessed with the idea that the royals are still trying to ruin her. One friend admitted, to Meghan, Trevor breaking his silence is nothing less than proof of a larger conspiracy. But critics aren't buying it. They argue this is Meghan, once again slipping into the victim role, when in reality, what's haunting her now is her own past finally catching up.
That Meghan Markle did plan this, but what is new in terms of Megyn Kelly's revelation is that it is Trevor Engelson, via an intermediary, who has revealed this story, this existence of the mood board featuring Prince Harry. And let's just remember for a moment, Megyn Kelly is one of the world's greatest independent journalists.
In a stunning move, Meghan has abruptly canceled multiple high-profile appearances, including a women's business summit in Los Angeles and a charity Q&A session in New York. PR insiders whisper that she's simply too emotionally unstable to face a live audience right now. She knows the very first question from the press will be about Trevor, and she has no answer prepared. But instead of calming the storm, this retreat has only fueled it. Critics argue that a woman with nothing to hide would confront the controversy head-on. By stepping back, Meghan has only deepened the perception that Trevor's revelations hit far too close to home.
He used Diana's favourite perfume. So when they met for the first time, gosh, he couldn't believe it. He thought he'd come from heaven. And I think that all this phoniness is going to drop from her bit by bit because people are so fed up.
Meghan's silence is being read not as grace but as guilt. And one of the strangest reports yet comes from a former staffer who claims Meghan has a private section of her mansion darkly nicknamed the Rage Room. Allegedly soundproof, it's said to be furnished so she can scream, throw, and cry without anyone overhearing. This week alone, insiders allege she shattered 2 vases and even kicked over a lamp in a fury after seeing her name trend online under hashtags like Trevor Tells All and Meghan Exposed. Whether the so-called Rage Room truly exists or not, those close to her agree on one thing: Meghan is unraveling at alarming speed. While she tries to project calm in public, behind closed doors, her explosions are painting a very different picture.
Many warnings can you receive? I mean, we obviously know via Tom Bower that Meghan Markle returned her engagement ring to Trevor Engelson via the post. But the fact that you're actually so blatant in terms of the fact that you want this famous royal, and specifically you want Prince Harry, because you know my reporting on Meghan Markle's early life in London, Angela, made it very clear that she was looking for a celebrity.
Prince Harry's response has been quiet, but insiders say it speaks volumes. According to sources, he's visibly rattled by the backlash and deeply embarrassed by Trevor's revelations. Insiders claim Harry has been spending more and more time away from Meghan inside their Montecito mansion, retreating into private rooms just to escape the mounting tension. He's tired of defending her, one source revealed. Every time Harry thinks the storm has passed, another wave crashes down, and this time, it's Meghan's past erupting in full force, something he has no power to control. Reports also suggest Harry has confronted Meghan directly, warning her to stop pointing the finger at Buckingham Palace for every crisis. Insiders say his patience is wearing thin.
He studied him. Now, if you do study him carefully, you can see he's very vulnerable, and you can see that he's yearning to get married. He told me that he really wanted children, but the time hasn't come yet, but he really wants to be a father because he loves being with children.
The signs point to growing frustration and emotional distance between Harry and Meghan. Since leaving the royal family, Meghan has worked hard to present herself as a champion of women's empowerment, mental health, and authenticity. But Trevor's tell-all has forced people to question everything. He painted her as emotionally unavailable, calculating, and utterly obsessed with fame, a description that stands in stark contrast to the victim narrative Meghan has carefully promoted. Social media has erupted with reactions, with thousands of users saying they now recognize the red flags they once overlooked. To many, Trevor's words feel less like gossip and more like confirmation of long-held suspicions.
They had a meeting. They were off there to look at the stars. And, all that was very carefully done. And it proves that we're not wrong to not believe almost everything she says.
Even Meghan's longtime supporters are now questioning how much of her public persona is manufactured. Her podcasts, glossy interviews, and carefully staged documentaries are suddenly being rewatched through a harsher, more critical lens, and her credibility is eroding fast. And if Meghan thinks the storm has passed, she may want to brace herself, because insiders claim Trevor isn't finished talking. Sources close to him suggest he actually held back the darkest parts of their marriage out of respect, but is now considering either a memoir or a second interview to finally set the record straight. He stayed silent for years while she rewrote history, one of Trevor's friends revealed. Now it's his turn, and he has receipts. That possibility alone has reportedly sent Meghan's legal team into overdrive, scrambling to contain what could become an even bigger bombshell.
Before Meghan Markle ever went public with her vision boards. But do you remember recently, Angela, Meghan Markle actually posted a vision board on Instagram. So this is absolutely the type of thing she uses.
Yes, she likes that, doesn't she? And you went through all the details of it.
Reports suggest Meghan's team is already scrambling to block Trevor's future appearances in press deals, but unless a formal NDA exists, there's very little they can do. What's even more striking is the massive public shift in perception. Where Meghan once basked in glowing praise as a modern, outspoken outsider, the tone has now flipped to open skepticism and, in many cases, outright contempt. Hashtags like Trevor told the truth and Meghan manipulated me are trending worldwide, with thousands applauding Trevor for his maturity and restraint. Many believe his quiet dignity speaks far louder than Meghan's Netflix documentaries ever did. As one viral tweet summed it up perfectly,
saw it up there, it was going to happen. And so that's why she would do all that. But isn't it awful? It's just too awful for words. And I think that there we are. And what she would do is actually to keep Harry jumping about something like that.
Trevor was married to Meghan for years, and he never uttered a word until now. That silence, people say, was class. What he's revealed today, that's truth, and it's cutting through louder than any palace leak or tabloid headline ever could. This isn't just another gossip headline, it's part of a much bigger unraveling. Meghan has built her entire post-royal career on selective storytelling, carefully framing herself as misunderstood, mistreated, and maligned. But Trevor's account doesn't come from the press, the palace, or anonymous whispers. It comes from the man who lived beside her, who knew her before the cameras, before the titles, before the fame. And that makes his words devastatingly powerful. Now, Meghan's silence doesn't look strategic, it looks suspicious. Her legal threats don't appear commanding, they look desperate. And her once polished image, it's fraying, collapsing, and falling apart at the seams.
Who is changing their mood all the time, changing what they're putting up on the board. So you might be there one day, you might not be the next. You know, it's very disturbing. And he's a very vulnerable person, and she's taken 100% of that.
Meghan may have climbed to global fame through charm, talent, and opportunity, but Trevor's revelations paint a far less flattering picture. They suggest a pattern of manipulation, reinvention, and emotional abandonment. And with more voices likely to come forward and public patience running dangerously thin, the Duchess of Sussex may soon learn the brutal truth. The very secrets she tried to bury could be the ones that destroy everything she built. For years, we've only been fed one version of her story: the empowered Duchess, the silenced victim, the misunderstood outsider. But now, for the first time, we're hearing from someone who was there before the crown, before the cameras, before the curated chaos, and his words are shaking the foundation of her narrative. Meghan Markle's carefully crafted image is collapsing under the weight of Trevor Engelson's revelations and Tyler Perry's explosive demand for repayment, leaving her branded not as a trailblazer, but as a liability drowning in $16 million of debt, abandoned by allies, mocked by comedians, and shredded by the very public she once courted. What began as whispers of hypocrisy has snowballed into a cultural verdict where every documentary, podcast, and appearance is now filtered through memes, punchlines, and brutal hashtags, turning her story from royal fairy tale into a cautionary tale of manipulation, reckless spending, and a brand unraveling in real time. So ask yourself, how many more truths have been buried? How many people have been silenced, discarded, erased from Meghan's carefully controlled storyline? Trevor finally spoke, but who's next? Because make no mistake, this isn't just celebrity drama. It's a reckoning. The truth has found its voice, and this time, it doesn't belong to Meghan Markle.